What's cracking, everybody, and welcome to my guide to getting an all-S Chao on Sonic Adventure 2 Battle. Now, this game has recently been re-released on the PlayStation Network and going to be released on Xbox Live on the 5th. So hopefully this guide still holds up then, and I hope to help everybody get the best Chao they possibly can. But, as you can see here, it can be done. I will show you one of the best ways to do it without having your Chao be reborn over and over and over. Now, this is a Chaos Chao, so it won't die, and that takes a little extra work at the end, but I will explain it a little bit once we get there. But what you are going to need is the more emblems the better, and the hero garden is so helpful. So if you just raise a Chao up to be a hero and then start over with this process, that's probably going to help you out. And there are going to be reasons that we talk about later that this garden is going to help you out. And they are pretty fast swimmers, runners, flyers. They'll pretty much top everything, and they'll get all those Chao Garden emblems. If you don't already know what Chaos are, in every level they give you 3 chances to get a key to go to the Chao Garden. And they will be found in blue boxes like this. So just pick up that key, finish the level, and it'll send you right there with that character. You have to do it with every character to unlock everybody for the garden. But to start this off, we need to go and buy an egg. So, this is why the more emblems the better, because you'll have more options, and I have heard that shiny eggs have a better chance of getting an A when they're born. But here I'm just going to kind of get lucky. I'm going to buy an orange egg, and you'll see how it's done. So, 600 rings ain't too bad. Back out of here. And accidentally read the kindergarten message on there. And we'll head back. Now this is on the GameCube right now, but I assume the HD port is going to have mostly the same things. But what I'm going to do is shake it 15 times, because that's apparently 15 to 20 gives you a normal mouth. So, here we go. And we'll set it down and wait for it to open. So immediately we're going to pick this Chao up and take it back to the doctor. Now, if you got lucky enough, you'll have an A on one of those stats, and that is the stat we're going to turn into an S. And you do want to go for an A, because when these Chaos evolve, they will grow 1 letter level. But for now, we're going to name it all of its stats so that I can keep track of which stats I have turned into an S. And you don't have to do this, you can write it down if you want to name it something else, but this is just what helps me get to the final product. And you can always rename your Chao later. So I just went down the line, A, B, D, E, C, and we're going to start going to work on this. So we'll take him back up to the hero garden where we're going to grind later. Now, you might need a lot of money for this, because you might not get lucky on the eggs. Well, the best way I know to make money is to go to the 3rd level in City Escape. And if once you play through it a few times, might not even be that long, you can just speed through the level, go through it 3 times without picking up the Chao, and then finally get it. However, despite the fact that this is the first level, you have to play through the whole game because you will need Sonic's Mystic Melody to get the Chao at the end, and I'll show you that in just a little bit. I did speed this up quite a bit, so you'll see on the second time through, it won't take too long. But as you can see there, I already picked up 370 coins, or rings, sorry, on my first run through. So you can get around 900, maybe even 999 if you do it right. I'm just kind of trying to hurry here. But I'll show you where this lost Chao is. So after you go through this loop and go down this wall, you are going to slow down, come around the corner, and there is a little ruined temple thing there. And you're just going to climb this wall and find the Chao at the top. And that's how I've always boosted rings in Sonic Adventure 2 Battle. I believe that's 820 there. It's a little bit blurry on my mini video, so. But I'm going to show you how to get that Mystic Melody if you don't already have it. I'm going to speed this up as well, but as long as you get through the level, you don't have to take the path that I take, because eventually you will come across the part no matter what. So don't worry about being very good at it or anything. And I didn't even mean to miss that rail right there, so. Like I said, don't worry about going the same path. It's not necessary. But this is quite a ways into the level. So, and I mess up right here. This is one of the worst parts. So it's hard to speed through a lot of it that is platforming like crazy. It's not just all grinding rails and lots of little jumps, but we're coming up to this part right here. No matter what, you are going to end up here, no matter what path you take. So this is where I'm slowing it down, and I'm going to show you guys from here. It's easiest just to go up on this and grind up this rail and hit this spring. And what we're going to do is jump off onto this platform. And then we're going to charge up, make sure you hit that checkpoint just in case you don't make this jump. But we want to take this rocket all the way over here. Now you should be able to make this jump just fine. And as you can see to the right here, there's a little rail. Don't do that what I did, but in this ring you should find your Mystic Melody. But back to the Chaos. Now, these are the best animals to train your stats. Otters give you the best swim stat, Condors give you the best fly, Cheetahs or bunnies, but I'm going to use Cheetahs, are going to give you the best run, and Gorillas give you the best power. And I'm going to go through and show you each one of these animals here in a second. I don't know where to get bunnies though, so sorry if that's what you wanted. Now your otters are in Rouge's first level, and the way I start off is I go right for these chow boxes at the beginning. There's one over to the right here immediately, and the reason I open the chow boxes in some of these levels is you can get 2 bonus animals as opposed to just picking up the ones off the ground that are already there. And I don't know if I do it in this one, but doesn't look like it, but sometimes there can be 2 otters in there, so then we're gonna come down here and free this tortoise, and we're gonna ride on his back over to the other half of this level. And now there's going to be 1 otter on each side. One's going to be underneath this fountain. And then if you fly all the way to the other side, there's going to be 1 in the water. Right by the statue's feet. Now make sure you go to start and exit, and then go back into the level. Because if you go to start and click restart, you lose a life. Obviously, if you have enough to spare, it doesn't matter, but it helps. So now we're going into Sky Rail, and we're going to show you how to get some condors. This is fairly quick here. I just go for these 2 because I don't really know where any other ones are. Now and then, if you get really lucky, you can find one in this pipe, but usually it's a ram there. But jump out here and there's a condor flying there. So there you go, 30 seconds, you have 2 to 3 of them. Now the cheetahs. I just prefer the cheetahs over the bunny. Maybe it's because I don't want my chow to look like a bunny. But Radical Highway is the only place I've ever gone for them. If there is a better spot, leave me a comment. I'll put it in an annotation. But depending on what animal you give your chow, they do perform different actions. But if you pick up the Chao Key again, there is a chance later you can get a bonus cheetah. Because the second cheetah does come from the chow box. So you can get up to 3. But the first one's sitting on this railing right here. Now these ones do take the longest, but I'm going to show you in a little while that you don't need very many if you perform a trick just right. So as you can see, the second chow box is right there. Gonna roll into it, and sometimes you will find 2 cheetahs in there. So also take a chance, try to blow your whistle into that pipe, and you might get a cheetah out of there too. I don't really know. But start exit, and we'll head to get some gorillas in Iron Gate. This is Eggman's first level, and this is fairly quickly as well if you have the boosters so that you can hover. The first gorilla is behind these boxes. If you break them all, you'll find it. I didn't get the Chow box because I don't really remember where the second one is. So I'm just gonna run through and show you where the next gorilla is on the ground. It's not too far away. Now if you have to take this platform, it's not too much longer, maybe like 15-20 seconds. But here's your second gorilla right here. So 45 seconds, you got 2 of them. Now, we're going to start grinding. You have to take, depending on hero or dark, since everything I just showed you was mainly dark, actually I think all of it was dark. You have to take in that side of the story's characters to get your animals and chaos drives. So if I took Sonic in here, he would have a completely different set of things. Now, I'm going to show you how to grind. There is a spot over by this fallen pillar that the Chows cannot get out of. And you can see he'll try to walk here, but that's all he can do is spin in circles. So what we're going to do is grab our Otter, because we want to raise this Chow's swim, since that was the A we want to turn into an S. And if you're just far enough away, you can set down this animal and pick it back up. The animal is not used up. This is why having multiples of the animal is great, because you can keep trying if you mess up, but once you get the hang of it, it's pretty easy. And since the Chow can't move, you can easily reset yourself and don't have to worry about accidentally giving it the animal. But I'm going to skip ahead a little bit here, all the way to level, you probably want to go around 20 to 25. I just went to 23 just in case. Now that we're here, we've got the stat that we want to change to an S at that level. Now, what we want to do is try to get this Chow to evolve as fast as we can. So what we're going to do is feed it, and feed it, and feed it. And honestly, this is one of the longest parts. Just, all you have to do is stand there with fruit, and once it throws one away, it'll pick up another fruit out of your hand, and honestly, it'll keep eating. Don't feel too bad for it, but just keep feeding it over and over and over. And I did try getting it in here just so it wouldn't walk away when I went to pick up other fruit, and it causes issues and everything, so you can do it if you want, but fruit will get stuck inside the pillar. But what you want is this, and this took me about a half an hour to get the Chow to evolve. So it is a bit of a lengthy process, but in the end, everything we're going to do will be faster to get this all-S Chow. So all you have to do is wait for this Chow to come out of the cocoon, and I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about. I gotta get my other Chow unstuck here. And as you can see, the limbs of the Chow are bigger, the head is a little bit more shaped, and you can tell that it has grown up. And if you did notice, I switched to Sonic while feeding so that it became a neutral Chow instead of a dark. And that's basically just by taking care of the Chow half and half with hero and dark. Otherwise you'll get a devil Chow or an angel Chow, or hero or dark, sorry. And we're going to take them to the health center. And you remember that A? It is now an S, because this Chow has evolved with a swim type. And any other stat that is an A, you can evolve a Chow with that being their main stat, and it will turn into the next highest. A B will turn into an A C will turn into a B, so on. But I'm going to rename it to show the S. And I make a little bit of a mistake here because I didn't expect it. And there we go. So that's Chow number 1 down. what we want to do is grab another Chao that has an A in a different stat, and we'll raise that Chao and get that stat to an S. And here you can see I've done it with power. Swimming just so happens to be an A as well, but I already had swimming, so I went with power. And that's exactly the same way as I did the orange Chao. So now that we have these two, we want to go into the shop and buy 2 heart fruit. Now, if the heart fruit don't appear, my suggestion would be to play a level, or you need to play a level to get it to reset what's in the shop. But my suggestion would be the find 100 coins on City Escape. My fastest time is about 50 seconds, so that's about a minute reset for the shop, and you're golden. Now what we want to do is feed these fruit to the 2 Chaos with the S stats. And you want to do it a little bit away from each other so that you can kind of plan everything. And I get scared a little bit here and end up moving the orange Chao. You'll see in a second. I guess not so much scared, but nervous that they'll walk over to each other. Because you will need to do something after they eat.
Don't worry, buddy.
So let's move this one a little bit away. And when they get the flowers around them, that means they are ready to breed. Once they both have the flowers, you're going to need to click start, exit, and this is going to save them in that state. Now this is the part that's going to save you a lot of time and money. Go back in. And as you're going to see, in just a second, these Chaos actually are still ready to breed. So, now that they're saved that way, and I have a lot of trouble finding the other one real quick, because he's hiding from me there, but because they're saved that way, this allows us to retry over and over. And I assume that it's still going to work with Xbox and PlayStation because of dashboarding out or going back to your PlayStation Home. But we'll talk about that in just a second because I end up failing. So, you're going to set them next to each other. They're going to rub noses, Eskimo kiss for a while, whatever, and an egg's gonna come out. And this egg can be any color of the 2 Chaos. It could be any of the descendants later on. You'll find out what I mean by that. And I'm gonna shake it 15 times just because, habit. And we're gonna wait for it to open and we're gonna take it to the health center. So as you can see, this first one is a black Chao, and just like the parent, and we're going to take it to the health center and see if we got both of those stats. And we did not get either of the S's. So what we want to do is hold down L, R, Z, A, B, X, Y, and start. And this is the classic Nintendo reset. Hold down all the buttons on the controller, and it'll take you back. And that allows you to keep trying over and over until you get both the stats. And that's what I mean by, I think it'll still carry over to Xbox and PlayStation. I believe it'll still work. I haven't played them yet, so we'll have to see. I'm sorry if it doesn't. But what we want to look for is all of the S's need to be on there except one can be an A. And since we only have 2 S's, that's a lot easier to achieve right now. Later on down the line, you're going to have a little bit more trouble, and that's why the reset comes in handy, because it'll take longer. But honestly, I just skipped all of these fails and got to this one, which it only took me, honestly, 15 minutes. So much easier than raising your Chao up to have an S with one stat, and then reborning and raising it and reborning and raising it, because each time you reborn your Chao, it takes longer and longer. And I would know because my Chaos Chao took somewhere around 20 hours. So, back to the health center we go, and I'll show you exactly what I mean. So we've got the power turned into an S, and the swim is an A, and we can make that work to have both S's from the parent Chaos, because if we raise this as a swim type, there's going to be 2 S stats there, just like before. And that's pretty much what we're going to need from this Chao, and that's great. So what I'm going to do here is, this is now our main Chao to raise, and I go back in here because I forget everything. And I'm going to name this one the stats, just like I did the others. So now that that's done, we're going to take it on back to the Hero Garden, where we can start the process over again. Now you may want to unlock the Dark Garden just to hold your other Chaos, but if you're not crazy about buying Chaos and everything, then you should be fine, completely fine on space. But what I'm going to do is take the 2 parent Chaos back to the normal garden, just so they're out of the way. The more stuff you have running around in the Hero Garden, the harder it is to grind, just because the Chaos eat the fruit, they'll walk up and take animals from you. It just makes the process easier.
Don't worry, buddy.
So there we have it. We took the parents back, and now we're going to start over with our other Chao. Save and exit there. Now, here's what needs to happen. We have Chao 1 and Chao 2 already bred to make the Chao 5. As you can see that. The A that's going to turn into an S, and we have the other S. Now what we need to do is make 3 and 4 to have those 2 S's in running and flying that we missed. And once you do that with those 2 Chaos, and again you just have to get lucky from buying out of eggs, you breed that into Chao 6, breed 5 and 6, and you've got 7 with all S's. Now if you get very lucky, you'll have a stat that's high enough in Chao 7, such as a B, that you can reborn it twice, it'll get A, then S, and then you can make that a Chaos Chao. And that's what we did with ours, was we got lucky enough to have a B that we just raised it. So if not, you're going to have to find another Chao and breed that, and there you'll have it. It's a long process, but it's much shorter than having your Chao reborn over and over and over. So, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you guys got a lot of help from the video, and hopefully you leave a like. This took me a long time to put together, about 6 hours, so thanks for watching everybody. I'll see you next time.